Hello and welcome to another week of FX Addicts Currency Market Update. Today is September 28th, 2012. This is Tim, the Currency Professor, and today is the last day of the week and the last day of September. So it holds a little bit more significance, being that it is the end of the week and the end of the month. Now today's action really dollar oriented. We got a little bit of a reversal going in a couple of things here. Not really sure if they're very strong reversals, though. We're going to call them reversals because they have a reversal pattern, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the market is reversing. We have here with the euro against the dollar a little bit of an engulfing pattern on the downside here, and really what it should probably be is more or less a sellout on the end of the month, kind of a consolidation for the end of the month, shoring up of positions for the end of the month. So we needed to sell off. We did. We are now down to that 20% level on the stochastics. We have fallen off. We're making a base here at this range. So it really looks positive from this point forward. Today's action really going to attribute it to the end of the month positioning. So next week we should see a resurgence back up, probably up to the highs, maybe not next week, but certainly the week after, and within a few weeks exceeding these highs and probably getting up to about the 135 level. Now if we look on the weeklies, we can see how we had this sharp incline up. We broke above this trend line about 4 weeks ago. We've now consolidated for 2 weeks, so the next move should be higher and to new highs above these last ones, which are around about 131.50, 132 area. So we should blow past those here in the coming week or two. Now on the monthlies, we're going to end the month about a midway point of the monthly range, which is not exactly positive, but it's not exactly negative either. Now this trend line here, or channel line, upper channel line, we did hit up there at the beginning of the month and have since fallen back. Now the question is, next month in October, do we exceed that level and do we close above it? Now we did see on the weeklies how we could, and the dailies, how we could get up to about 135. So if we close the month of October at 135 or higher, then that would be very, very positive for a longer term up move, which would really take us up to about 145. Now that being said, the market is still weak longer term here in the monthlies. It's still clearly in a downtrend. We can see that here as this continues to move lower. So there needs to be a lot of momentum here to really turn the market around. It has turned around on the daily and the weekly. Now we need to see it turn around on the monthly. British pound against the dollar also showing a fairly decent engulfing pattern today, down about 84 pips right now. And we can see also how this area is kind of broadening out, which is an unusual pattern to see after such a quick run up like this. So we are probably in a consolidation instead of flagging like the euro has done. It is choosing this type of a broadening pattern, which should mean that we'll climb out of this at some point soon. We could have one spike down and then a very quick spike back. That's a possibility too out of this kind of pattern. Now stochastics are pointed decisively lower and does not look like it's going to turn around. So we could have several days, or even a week of this. Here on the weeklies, we can see how this is the first week down. So we could have next week being a lower week as well, getting down, maybe even down to below 160 just slightly on an inter-week basis, and then possibly the following week moving back up and taking out these highs and getting up to this trend line of about 165. Now in the monthlies, of course, we've talked about this many times. This back here did a lot of damage to the market would take an extreme type of fundamental as well as technical situation for us to break higher and go back up to these highs up here. So more than likely we're going to finish out this this triangular upward momentum triangular pattern. We'll get up to about 165, 166, maybe even 167, and then turn around, and the next time we come back down to this the support line, we'll probably blow right through it, ultimately sinking us down to about the 125, 135 area. That's of course a very long-term projection though. US dollar against the Swiss franc, up slightly today, up about 21 pips. Overall very much losing its upward momentum here. It's had a nice correction now to the upside. We need to sell off again. If at the very least test these lows, and at the very most getting down to the lows that we've experienced back here, which is around 90 even or just below. We look on the weeklies how we had this this trend line up here. We've blown past it about 3 weeks ago. We've been staying below it. It has now become a resistance point. So as we continue on here, more than likely we're going to sell off, take out these most recent lows, and get down into that lower 90s area, and we'll have to reset this this trend line here probably down to about here. So it's going to take on less and less of an upward momentum angle, and that will be nonetheless still positive, but not as positive as it has been. Monthly, the turnaround here is still intact, being that this spike low down here turned the market around, and now we are in the phase of turning this big boat around, and it will take some time. So we can certainly get back down into the 80s down here, testing this spike low. Very unlikely that we would go below probably 88 or 89, but we could get back down to that level and then move back up. We want to close significantly above this trend line, which is now hovering just about 100. So in the next month or two, if we do see a substantial turnaround, we would really need to get up to about 102, maybe even 103, and close there on a monthly basis to fully confirm the turnaround here. US dollar against the Japanese yen spiking up quite a bit today, up 41 pips. Again, we've gotten down into this area. This whole week we sold off, and most of last week, and we've gotten down now into this 77.50 area for the second time in the last few weeks, and it seems to be the point at which there is substantial buying interest there for the dollar against the yen. So we had this point up here where it was really became a support level. We broke through at this point here, spiked down, came right back, and now this time again we've tested it. So once we get above that point, back up above 78.30, we can say that the market has bottomed here, and that we're probably going to take off again. And here on the weeklies, we can see how the weekly ranges have gotten smaller and smaller. Very good indication the market's going to turn around, just like back here when it thrust up and broke the downtrend. So we should see that same type of action here sometime in the next couple of weeks. We should bolt up higher, and then have several weeks where we significantly move higher, and we'll see that again here on the monthlies as well. So month of September ending almost where we opened, slightly lower, and month of October then should be a fairly significant move up month, getting back up above the 80-50 area and maybe even beyond. So some good momentum there. Euro Swiss having a down day today, very much into a consolidation phase here around the 121 mark. Right now we are, let's see, where are we? We're down 20 pips, quite a bit of a move as the market moves have been lately. We stagnated around that 120.10 area for a very, very long time, about 6 months, and have moved up. Now we've corrected back, and looking like we're probably going to move up again. So overall, longer term, still looking for it to get up to around the 124, 125 area. Euro yen up a little bit today, up about 10 pips, just still hanging out barely above 100. We had about 7-8 days here where we fell off, broke back down below this trend line and consolidating. Now it's very possible we'll make another move up here. We look at the weeklies, we could get up to about the 105 area. It is having a lot of difficulties moving that high. There is certainly a lot of fundamental and technical issues here that are having a real drag on this market. We look at the monthlies. We're finishing out the month about a third off of the highs of the month, so that's not exactly positive. So longer term here, we could maybe next month exceed this month's highs, but still we're still clearly in a very, very, very strong downtrend here that really don't see any type of major shift to the upside. This is just a minor correction to the upside, and really should be looking for opportunities in which for it to turn around and be able to sell it here, because ultimately we are going to that upper 80s, lower 90s area. That is it for today. If you haven't stopped by FX Addicts, please do. If you are a subscriber, then good, glad to hear that, and certainly feel free to stop on by the trade room, or feel free to ask me questions, or if you need help in anything currency related, feel free to contact me. Thank you again. Have a good weekend.